Welcome everybody. I'd like to give you a short overview in 20 minutes about Cloudian and about object storage, and also show you a couple of use cases that we're doing. With that, I will jump right in. So who is Cloudian? Cloudian is founded 2011, and actually the interesting thing is that the first 3 years we just did our solution together with NTT, the largest telecom in Japan. And so it's driven for service providers, and we designed from the beginning an S3 object storage. You have heard probably a lot about Amazon today, AWS, and that's from the beginning the standard we put in, and we are 100% compatible, same as AWS, just as a private way. We're 250 employees at the moment. And we're backed up by some of the biggest companies in the industries. Our investors are Intel, Cisco Systems, Lenovo, Goldman Sachs. So we're very well funded. Not going to go into details. We have a lot of global customers, but I will show you some case study. So what's the idea? Cloudian is all about S3. The S3 standard, when we started 2011, that wasn't clear, but we built everything. And that makes it very simple, modular, and very cost efficient. The nice thing is you can start very small with 10 terabytes on software only, or 100 terabytes on appliances, and you can build hybrid and multi-clouds. So, oops. Sorry. So what you can do is, and I'm seeing like an interest level, so I just click this away. Okay, so what you can do is geo-distribution. That means you can build 3 nodes and you can put it in separate data centers, what is very nice. So even with a small deployment, you can do that. And the second thing is you can literally scale in petabytes, exabytes. And the nice thing is you can do an integration in cloud services like AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. So you can build up a combination there. What are we focusing on? We're really focusing not on the fast data. So we're not competing against the Nutanix, the Pure, or the NetApps. We're really secondary storage there. It's perfect for data protection, big data lakes, media and entertainment, video surveillance, and of course offloading any data from like a Pure, NetApp, or Rubrik, and I will cover this in a use case later. So why is S3 so important? Because everybody in the industry literally is focusing on S3 and is S3 compatible now. So if you look at Rubrik, Splunk, Pure Storage, they all have now an S3 API that you can use. And Cloudian is at the moment the only one that is really 100% compatible to the S3 API, and we even give a guarantee. That's really the difference, where we also win a lot of business because we're 100% the same, and that's the differentiation against the others in the market. So what are the use cases? If you look, I put together 4 use cases. On the left-hand side, you have storage as a service. That's the traditional use case we're doing for MSPs, ISPs. The idea is that you have your users at the beginning, you just give them a bucket. We have the same language like AWS. And then you have the possibility to do multiple billings. You can do multi-tenants, and so that's very helpful. And we have actually a lot of service providers that is using that one. NTT was the first one. We also have now Dataline in Russia as a customer who's using the service. And the idea is literally that you build your own S3 service similar to AWS, and you offer it to your customers, but you have the local advantage that you can say, I have local support. The data stays in my country or stays in Russia, for example. And actually it's a nice cost effect, also very cost efficient. We can offer about half the cost as AWS, the public clouds, so you can do a nice margin on top of it. On the bottom side, you see a lot of use cases that we have at the moment. So if you have a backup solution like Veritas, Rubrik, Veeam. There's lots of others, all that speak S3. What you can do is literally you offload the data to the Cloudian, and the idea is that these solutions are all very expensive. So you just take the data and by policy and say like, after a week, I put it on the Cloudian, and you have the same performance there. The nice thing is you normally have cost savings of 60 to 70% if you do it this way. So we have a lot of customers that are using this one. Cloudian is also very interesting for everything with media entertainment because of the object storage. You have the possibility to use the metadata, what makes it nice. So all the MUM systems that you use in media entertainment work very well with object storage. For example, we have in the US NBC, what is the one of the largest TV stations that put their entire archive on Cloudian. And the idea is that you can all of a sudden search through your data that you have in your archive instead of tapes. And so if you have somebody, for example, a special TV show, you can search for the content and it works extremely well. We also have, for example, in Austria, the Austrian parliament that is using that to tape all the video sessions. And the fourth use case is really the NAS tiering. So if you have a NAS, you can, same thing there, you can use Comprise or others, and you can move the data over to the Cloudian Hyperstore. And it's all about also cost savings and additional functionalities there. The nice thing is really for you, you can start, as I mentioned it before, you can start very small. So the smallest size you can buy it, software only, is 10 terabyte. You set it up in 3 different locations, and then you just add additional capacity when you need it. So it's very cost efficient from the beginning, and then it scales literally in the petabyte, exabyte range. The nice thing is you can combine everything. So you can combine software only, you can combine appliances, you can combine software only with HP servers, with Huawei, whatever you prefer there. So it's a very scalable model of deploying it. I mentioned before we have appliances. So our appliances are based on Quanta Technologies or Seagate. So then you have an all-in-one solution, or we have the software only product. With a software only product, literally you can choose your hardware below and you just build it up, and it's really software defined. So it's minimum requirements on the hardware, and it's very flexible. You can combine appliances, you can combine software only. The third option I haven't put on there, I think it adds a lot of credibility for Cloudian, is we are also part of the VCP program from VMware. So you can literally use the VMware Cloud Director and then choose Cloudian below it. And it's the object storage that was first supported in the VMware VCP program. So if you're using that at the moment, reach out to us or VMware, we can certainly help there. That might be a nice thing, especially since it's consumption based. So it's a very easy start. So what I put together is just a couple of use cases. The first one is the HDI Insurance. It's a very large insurance, mainly in Germany, but all over Europe also. And the general use case was also they have a backup with Rubrik, and the idea was to save costs there. So we put in Cloudian object storage behind the Rubrik one, and it's, as said before, you do it by policy. They choose 30 days, and everything that's older than 30 days automatically goes on the Cloudian Hyperstore. It was very easy implemented in just one day, and we work very well, for example, with Rubrik because we have a lot of installation. If you look at the backup story, it really doesn't matter if you put a Rubrik in front, if you put a Commvault in front, and all the common backup software that support S3 work very well with Cloudian there. We're currently also the launch partner for Veeam. That might be interesting. So we're the only ones that supporting at the moment the object lock from Veeam, the new feature where you can literally build your Veeam architecture to protect against ransomware. And we were the ones that Veeam actually chose to go public with in the announcements. And that's a nice feature from Cloudian, where we're using the object lock, same one that AWS has, so you can protect yourself against ransomware and others. The second use case is the PostFinance. It's literally the bank of the postal service in Switzerland, and they've started to put object storage kind of like on the first slide as a general secondary storage. They started with data and Hadoop, put this on there, and realized a 70% cost saving. The nice thing about there is it's now a really big document repository. And what PostFinance also learned is that you can find a lot of use cases. Everything that speaks S3 works with Cloudian. Now they have about 20 use cases already that they identified, and they put the data on Cloudian. It's a lot cheaper. So it's in the slides, it's like 70% cost savings about traditional block storage or file storage. And this goes literally all the way from backup solutions that they put on there. What's also quite interesting, they put their Splunk archive on there. And that's a nice story. So if you have in front Splunk, it works the same way. You just keep the hot bucket on your current high expensive infrastructure, and then you put the warm bucket on Cloudian, and same thing there, same performance, everything, but 70% cost savings. And another use case is a very large automotive manufacturer. They put in Cloudian all over the world, and the idea is literally that they act as a service provider for all the different subsidiaries and entities that they have, and they're offering, similar to an AWS, they're offering their own S3 service. It's in their data center, so it's completely private, was extremely important for them. So it's the same idea. They offer it to all the subsidiaries. It's completely S3. They have about 200 applications these days that are running on Cloudian, so it's very scalable. It's very easy value proposition. If it works with S3, then it works with Cloudian. And they could offer same thing with the cost saving. They could offer a very nice competitive offer to AWS, because we hit about half the cost of AWS when you compare all the features and the additional charges, and then they could offer their support additional margin internally and can price it at the same level to the subsidiaries as AWS. I think probably the most interesting one is Dataline. Dataline, probably most know, is a very large, it's one of the top 3 MSPs in Russia. They are using Cloudian for about 2.5 years already. And they did exactly what I said before. They are offering an S3 services for their customers. So if you go to the website, you can define what type, how much object storage you want, and then you can literally buy the service from them. The nice thing here is, because we're traditionally coming from a service provider background, I mentioned before, NTT was our first customers for the 3 years. There's a lot of features that MSPs and ISPs need in there. So you have the billing API, you have the same billing possibility like you have with AWS. You also have the multi-tenancy, so you can set up all different parts of end users. And the nice thing is, even with this, they started with a very small deployment, I think only like 100 terabyte. They put it in data centers, so you have the global redundancy in there. And that's, I think, the value proposition for any ISP or MSP. If you're looking at AWS, it's sometimes very hard to compete with them, but now with Cloudian, you actually have the possibility to build your own S3 cloud. I think we have about 100 service providers worldwide. We have some of the leading ones in Germany. And we also have a lot of city carriers, so you can play this local card to your customers. It's in service at your site, servers are at your site. You bring the local support, so you can bring Russian support or whatever support you want to do there locally, and you just can play the marketing card very nicely, that you're offering a local service at very competitive pricing against AWS, Google, or others. So to sum it up, what is the value proposition of Cloudian is we are 100% native S3 API. We're the highest in the market. In other words, what it means, if an application speaks S3, it works with Cloudian. It's that simple. That's why also a lot of enterprise companies chose us in POCs, because they realize even in the future, if you have an application and it changes the version, you're always on the same side. With a lot of the other guys in the market, you really have a list and look which what is supported in the S3 API. You can start very small. Going to say it again, it's 10 terabytes. That's the smallest one on software only. And then you can pretty much scale in small steps, or the smallest hardware deployment with appliances is 3 nodes with 96 terabytes, and you can already do a geo distribution. And afterwards, you can literally add everything, different appliances, software only, you can mix it up. What's very important, you have very granular management level. You can set policies on bucket level. In other words, you can do like a warm bucket for one customer. You can do another bucket where you just put the data in one data center to make it affordable. But for the other ones, you do it like for another bucket with like 3 data centers and the warm file. We have the possibility, I didn't touch that because of short time, also for file and other objects that don't speak S3, we have a product that is like a bridge converting it. We are very competitive against the big AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft. So you literally can offer your clients the same pricing as these guys and make a good margin. Nice thing is it's also multi-cloud and tiering, so you can build it up. We have several enterprise customers who are using it at their side for important stuff, but they also tier out like marketing material when it's ready to AWS in the public cloud. So it works very well interchanging. It also works to bring back the data, for example, out of an AWS environment. We have a lot of customers at the moment who realized that the builds from AWS were a lot higher than they thought. And so we're getting a lot of data back, and it's the cost aspect, same performance, your local data center, but just a lot more cost efficient. Self-healing, geo-retribution, I already touched on that one. And because of the object storage technology, you have a lot of possibilities to search data, analytics for any AI technology or IoT, it's perfect, or the meter. And we offer the warm functionality, and you can literally scale it very, very far. And we have a lot of durability, so you can do erasure coding in big environments. You can pretty much do all the different schemes that you used to. With that, I'm literally at the last slide, and just want to use the chance for any questions or comments. If not, then I say thank you for giving us a possibility. I think from a timing perspective, it's anyhow done. So have a great day, have a good thing. You can visit us at our booth. So if you virtually, if that works, come by our booth. We also have somebody in the sales team that speaks Russian. So that's not going to be the English one like myself. So stop by locally. You can always reach out to solve problem if you need additional information. They're very skilled. So reach out to us if you have any question. Looking forward to it, and have a great day.
Carsten, thank you. It looks like no one has questions. So thank you for your presentation and for your speech. Have a good day. Bye.